Hello, my dear students. Have a great day to all of you. Myself, Mrs. Kavita Kanade from LVH College, Panchwati, Nasik. This is our OCM's lecture. Today, we will start the new chapter, that is chapter number 7, Consumer Protection. In this chapter, we have to learn about the meaning and definition of consumer, then the need and importance of consumer protection. In this year, the need of consumer protection, this topic is eliminated from the syllabus. That's why we will learn about the importance of consumer protection, that is important from the point of view of the board exam. Then rights of consumers, then the responsibilities of consumer, then we ways and means of consumer protection, then the Consumer Protection Act 2019, then, role of consumer organizations and NGOs. These all are the topics which we have to learn in this chapter. First of all, we will learn about what is the meaning of consumer. From the point of view of Mahatma Gandhi, what Mahatma Gandhi said that a consumer is the most important visitor in our premises. He is not dependent on us. We are dependent on him. He is not an interruption in our work. He is the purpose of it. He is not an outsider to our business. He is part of it. We are not doing him a favor by serving him. He is doing a favor by giving us an opportunity to do so. These are the words of Mahatma Gandhi about the consumer. Mahatma Gandhi said that a consumer is the most important visitor in our premises. That means how much consumer is important. We uh, we know from these words that consumer, nowadays everyone says that consumer is a king. Consumer is a king of market. Why? Because if there is no consumer, then there is no meaning of any business. That's why consumer is important from the point of view of every organization, every business, or every each and every business. For each and every business, consumer plays an important role. That's why consumer is a king of market. Now we will learn this in detail. Who is a consumer? Any person who buys any commodity or service or is a user of such commodity or service is known as consumer. Consumer who consume the different things or who consume different goods, commodities or services is called as a consumer. Any person must satisfy two conditions to claim himself as a consumer. First is the service must have been rendered to him. Second is he must have paid or promised to pay for the same. Then he is the consumer. If any person buy capital goods to provide service to other individual, then he is also recognized as a consumer. These 3 points are important from the point of view of the consumer. These are the meaning of consumers. Consumer is the origin of the modern marketing world. Consumer is the originator of an organization. The success and failure of any business depends upon the consumers. Consumers are the pillars of economic development in any country, as the entire economy revolves around the word consumer. All the production and manufacturing activities are undertaken by business organizations only to give maximum satisfaction to the consumer. That means the satisfaction of consumer is important from the point of view of the business. If we want to purchase anything from the shop, and when we went to the that shop to purchase for example, if we want to purchase clothes, and we went to the garment shop, and if there is a so much varieties, different varieties, designs are there, and the shopkeeper is also um, have the good language, or the prices are also reasonable, then we have the satisfaction to purchase the garments from that shop. And if we like that shop, if we like the garments of that shop, then we went there, we go again and again, we visit that shop again and again. That's why the satisfaction of consumer is so much important from the point of view of the business. In today's sellers market, consumers have been cheated and exploited through price rises, artificial scarcity, black marketing, adulteration, and misleading advertisement. That's why it is important to have the protection to the consumers. Every consumer should have adequate knowledge of product and services regarding quality, quantity, price, standards, etc. to select right product. Meaning of consumer protection. What is the meaning of consumer protection? To protect the consumers against the unfair practices of the producers and sellers is called as consumer protection. Which are unfair practices such as black marketing or high prices of the shops, artificial scarcity. There is so much goods in the market, but some people or some businessmen creates artificial scarcity to for price risation. That means because of the artificial scarcity, automatically the price of these commodities automatically raised or increased. That's why this is also illegal activity, or it is called for this purpose there is some rules for consumer protection. Consumers are the king of the market, and his every need and demand is to be fulfilled and protected against any kind of misleading activities. That's why this Consumer Protection Act come into existence. The success, we already studied that the success and failure of any organization depends upon the consumers. The consumer is the king of the market, and he have certain rights. Which are these rights? We always see we always saw these advertisement on TV or on radio, that is Jago Grahak Jago. Know your consumers' right. Which are these consumers' right? The consumers didn't know about their rights. Which are our rights? We don't know about it, and that's why we don't raise our voice against the manufacturer businessmen, and they take the advantage of it. That's why we should know about the rights of consumers. On 15th March 1962, the President of United States, Jeff Kennedy, declared certain rights of consumers. Therefore, it is observed as World Consumer Right Day. Rights of consumers are an integral part of our day-to-day life. Consumer rights protect consumers from being cheated by the salesman, manufacturer, and shopkeeper. That's why we should know about which are the rights of ourselves or as a consumer. The success of any campaign depends upon the consciousness and awareness of the people for whose cause the movement is organized. Consumers' rights plays an important role in their protection and safety. The business aims should be to meet the need of the consumers and to provide full satisfaction. Every consumer should be aware of his rights and use of them in his daily life for protection. Consumers have to fight for their rights and put pressure on business, manufacturer and traders for safeguarding their rights. Now we will see about the consumers' right, which are the rights of consumers. First is right to safety. You have the right to purchase products and services that will not harm you or others. That is called as the right to safety. That means the products. This right protects the consumers against production process and the services which are hazardous to the health or life. That means which are dangerous to the health or life. This the right to safety. This right safeguard the interest or safeguard the consumer against the products which are dangerous for our health or for our life. It considers consumers' long term interest as well as their immediate requirements. According to this right, consumer must get full safety and protection to his life and health. This safety should be in relation to medicines, electrical appliances, then food, etc. Producers need to strictly follow required safety rules and regulations in order to maintain products quality. However, both government and public actions are needed. This is called as the right to safety. A consumer has a right to be protected against any defective goods and services which can be hazardous to the life of the consumer. The government of India has given safety standards in the form of AG mark, ISI mark, then BIS mark, and Hallmark, etc. These are the safety standard marks which are given by the government of India. On the agricultural product, there is a AG mark, then a ISI mark is there. Hallmark is for the jewelry or the gold ornaments. On that, hallmark is there. These are the marks or safety standards given by the government of India. AgMark is a certification mark as an honor agricultural products in India, assuring that they conform to set of standards approved by the Directorate of Marketing and Inspection. Then ISI mark. What is ISI mark? ISI mark is a standards compliance mark for industrial products in India. The mark certifies that a product conforms to an Indian standard, that is IS, developed by the Bureau of Indian Standard, that is BIS, the national standard body of India. BIS, that is the Bureau of Indian Standards, certifies the purity of gold. The process of certifying the purity of gold is called hallmarking. No jeweler will be allowed to sell any kind of gold ornaments without hallmarking. This is called as the right to safety. Then second is right to information. Right to information. According to this right, consumers should be provided with adequate information about all aspects of goods and services. It includes information relating to MRP, date of manufacturer, then the expiry date, name of manufacturer, then the contents used in that product, then batch number, if any, user manual, if any. If we purchase any goods from the from from the seller or from the businessman, then we have the right to take the information about that product from that seller or from that businessman. A consumer has a right to be informed about the ingredients used in that the product or the quality of that product, then quantity, purity, standards, grade, date of manufacturing, and the price of the goods he intend to buy. Also, suppliers and dealers must inform consumer about the safety precautions to be taken while using products to avoid loss or injury. This is called as the right to inform. This right is applicable to food products, medicines, spare parts, or any other consumer products or services. It enables the consumer to select the right product or service. That means if we want to purchase anything such as medicines from the medical, then we have the right to get the information about that medicine, which are the contents of that, or manufacturing date. It is the date of expiry date, manufacturing date. What is that date? We have that right to get the information about that product. Then third right is right to choose. Right to choose. That is, according to this right, consumer should be given full freedom to choose an article as per his requirement, liking, and purchasing capacity. That means we have the right to choose anything from the shop according to our likes or according to our purchasing capacity. The money we have to that means uh, we if we have the less money, or in that money, which products should be affordable to us, the seller or the salesman should show that products to us. This is the right to choose. The right to choose is related to the concept of free market economy. The seller cannot compel a consumer to buy a particular product, and hence monopoly is prevented. It is the right to choose a product or a service of a consumer regardless of age, gender, and nature of service. Consumer cannot be forced into purchasing goods, services they may not want. That means if we don't want anything from that shop, then we have the choice. Then we have the right to that means if we don't want to purchase anything from that shop, then the seller cannot argue with us that why you not purchase from this shop or anything. We have the right to choose. A consumer has the freedom to choose the goods needed for a variety of products. This implies that dealers and traders should offer a wide variety of products to consumers and should avoid using pressure tactics to sell goods or of poor quality. A free market economy refers to an economic system which is based upon the forces of demand and supply with no government control. The consumer decides what he wants to buy, and the manufacturer supplies the required goods and services. In a free market, there is no forced transactions. Then, fourth is right to be heard. A consumer has a right to be file a complaint and to be heard by manufacturers, dealers, advertisers, government, public bodies in case of dissatisfaction with a good or a services. That means we are not satisfied with the products, then we can complain about that product to that manufacturer or to the seller. According to this right, consumer have the opportunity to voice against or to voice their complaints to the consumer forum. Consumers may also give suggestions to manufacturer or traders on certain matters such as quality, quantity, price, packaging, etc. If we are not satisfied with the price, that means if he gives that product to the higher prices to us, then we have the right to be to do the complaint against that manufacturer. Nowadays, consumers can file online complaints through portal or mobile applications. Every business organization should listen to and solve the complaints of the consumers. That means if anybody have the problem about the products, then every manufacturer or every seller should heard about the complaint of that consumer. The mobile app for filing complaints like NCH app, National Consumer Helpline app, that is NCH, National Consumer Helpline app. It is the mobile app for filing online complaints against the duplicate product, or if we are not satisfying with the quality, quantity, and the price about that product. There is another app called Umang, that is Unified Mobile App for New Age governance, through which consumer complaints can be registered. Then the next right is right to consumer education. Right to consumer education. This is the sixth right. Every consumer has the right to know about the consumer's right and solutions to his problems. This right creates consumer awareness. Right to be aware of consumer rights through separate departments of consumer affairs in central and state government. There are different departments about the consumer affairs in central and state governments. We have the right to file the no, we have the right to consumer education. That means every consumer has the right to know about the consumer rights and solution to his problems. An aware consumer can make a rational choice of goods and services. He can also protect his rights and interests from the exploitation by dishonest businessmen. Thus, consumer education becomes a priority concern. It is necessary educate and train consumer regarding preventing acts and legal processes. The government, media, NGOs play important role in these regards. For example, Jago Grahak Jago campaign. This campaign is started for the awareness of the consumer. Then right against the next right is right to representation. Right to representation. Consumer movement has led to formation of various local forums and consumer councils. This is called as the right to representation. That means the consumer has the right to represent to himself. The Consumer Protection Act provides an opportunity to individual consumer and consumer groups to represent consumers' interest before consumer forum. There are different forum, state for district level, for state level, for national level. There are different consumer forums which are available to the consumers to solve out their problems. The act allows the consumer to be represented by a person who is not a professional advocate. This is called as a right to represent. Then next is right to a healthy environment. Right to a healthy environment. All consumers have the right to healthy and clean environment in the present as well as in future also. As per this right, consumers can demand actions against the pollution causing business organization. That means if the consumer who is living in the area, and there is some industries are there, that area is not for the MIDC. That area is not a MIDC area, and rather there is a industry and because of that industry there is lots of sound pollution or air pollution. Then that consumer have the right for the healthy environment. He can make and complain against that manufacturer of that industry. Every consumer should be aware of his rights and use of them. in his daily life. Consumers have to fight for them for their own rights and put pressure on businesses, manufacturers and traders for safeguarding their rights. This is called as a right to a healthy environment. That means every person is a consumer, and every person as a consumer have the right to live in a healthy environment. Then next right is right again, right to protect from unfair business practices. What is the meaning of unfair trade practices? That is, unfair trade practices means a trade practice which, for the purpose of promoting the sale, use, or supply of any goods or for the provision of any service, adopts any unfair method or unfair or deceptive practice, including any of the following practices. That means just like a different unfair products or the products which are outdated. This is called as unfair trade practices. Unfair trade practices. According to this right, all consumers are protected against unfair trade practices such as black marketing, profiteering, that means making unfair profits, faulty weights and measures, exorbitant prices, then adulteration, etc. These are all unfair business practices. This is unfair business practices. We always saw the chips packets, for example Lay's, Kurkure, or there are lots of chips packets are there, and in that 70% is air and 30% are chips. This is called as unfair trade practices. That means they deceive us by making the faulty weight and measures, or they exploit us by giving the products in the higher prices. That means there in chips packets, if there is 17% air, that means they sold the air to us for the higher prices. That means if there is a packet of 10 rupees, in that 10 rupees chips packet, only 10 chips are there. That means this is called as unfair trade practices. Then next right is right against spurious goods. What is spurious goods? It is a kind of duplications where even the original manufacturer would not be able to distinguish between a genuine and a fake product. These fake products bear the identical name of the original product, its packaging, graphics, color pattern, designs, and even same name and address as the genuine manufacturer. This is called as a spurious goods. As per the Consumer Protection Act 1986, this is the old act, spurious goods and services means such goods and services which are claimed to be genuine but they are actually not so. That means these are the fake goods. And we think about how much they are as same as the genuine product, as same as the original products. Branding is also same, the packaging also same, name also same, color, design, graphics, all the contents are same, and price is also same. That means we purchase these things, the fake products, on the original rates. These types of goods um, are sold in the market, in the village markets, in the on the railway platforms. These are the spurious goods, that means the duplicate products. Spurious good, that means the duplicate products. This right is against the marketing of goods which are hazardous to health also. That means they are not they are also harmful for our health because they are fake, or they are dangerous to our life also. That's why we have the right to make the case against these spurious goods. These all are the rights. These all are the rights of the consumers. That is, first is right to safety, then right to information, then right to choose, right to be heard, right to be consumer education, then right to representation, right to healthy environment, right to protect from unfair business practices, and right against spurious goods. These all are the rights of consumers, that means rights of ourselves. We are also the consumers and we should know about the rights of all these rights. That means if we have to be cheated by the businessmen or by the shopkeepers, then we should know about these rights. That's why it is so much important, for the from the point of view of the syllabus also, from the point of view of the board exams also, and for the whole life. These rights are important, so don't forget all these rights. And I hope all are you understand all these rights. Thank you for listening me carefully. Stay at home, stay safe.